Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamahyam Dadati Shapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutapadakamulaṁ Sri Guru Vaishnavascha Sri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunathannitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Purijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanditamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanto Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubheva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasati Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. So today we will study the next two chapters, that is on Raganuga Bhakti. So till now we have studied Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. We are studying Sadhana Bhakti only, the Sadhana Bhakti section. Yeah. So in the Sadhana Bhakti section, there are two divisions of Sadhana Bhakti. One is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti and another is Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. Okay. So till now, whatever we have discussed, that is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. And now today we will discuss in chapter 15 and 16 Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. So let us start from Srila Prabhupada books. The overview, first I will give a brief overview. Let me see. Overview I can put. So first of all, I would like to say that everyone has the hard copy book in front of them. Nectar of Devotion বইটা আছে?
হ্যাঁ প্রভু আছে।
আছে তো? তো ওই বইটার একটা ছোট্ট নোট লিখতে হবে আপনাদের সবাইকে। সেটা হচ্ছে চ্যাপ্টার 15 যেটা আছে রাগানুকা ভক্তি। এবার এইখানে দেখাচ্ছি এখানে যে রাগানুগা ভক্তি ওয়ার্ডটা ইউজ করেছে না এখানে, here wherever there is Raganuga Bhakti, This this Raganuga, this word should be replaced by Ragatmika. Okay, I'm writing in the chat. Ragatmika. Okay, Raganuga word in chapter 15 should be replaced by for all the words Ragatmika. Okay, first you take a note of this so that there should not be any problem later on, any misunderstanding. Okay, so here all the word of Raganuga should be here. This is called Raganuga Bhakti, should be Ragatmika Bhakti. Okay. Why it is so, I will explain to you very soon. Okay. So this is one important thing I just wanted to share, and then I will try to. So here, anyone can start reading.
Examples of spontaneous devotional service can be easily seen in Krishna's direct associates in Vrindavan. The spontaneous dealings of the residents of Vrindavan in relationship with Krishna are called Ragatmika.
Ragatmika. Yes.
These beings don't have to learn anything about devotional service. They are already perfect in all regulative principles and have achieved the spontaneous loving service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For example, the cowherd boys who are playing with Krishna do not have to learn by austerities or penances or yogic practice how to play with him. They have passed all tests of regulative principle in their previous lives, and as a result, they are now elevated to a position of direct association with Krishna as his dear friends. Their spontaneous attitude is called Ragatmika Bhakti.
Yes. So now this is called Ragatmika Bhakti. So most important thing, this Ragatmika Bhakti, this Ragatmika Bhakti is seen in Krishna's direct associate in Vrindavan, mainly in Vrindavan, predominantly in Vrindavan. That means this Ragatmika Bhakti is actually directed towards Vrindavan Krishna, not any other Krishna. Okay. Not Mathuradish Krishna, not Dwarkadish Krishna, even not even Dwarkadish Krishna. Okay, so this is only visible, experienced, is there in Vrindavan. So now here the Ragatmika Bhakti has been classified. The classification of Ragatmika Bhakti is done here. So here Prabhupada has not used the word, the Sanskrit words given by Srila Rupa Goswami in his original book of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. He is giving the uh, English translation of that word. So Rupa Goswami has defined Ragatmika Bhakti as spontaneous attraction for something while completely absorbed in thought of it with an intense desire of love. Okay. Devotional service executed with such feelings of spontaneous love is called Ragatmika Bhakti. Devotional service under the heading of Ragatmika can further be divided into two categories. One category is called sensual attraction, in bracket or in below you can write Kamarupa. 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 Okay. Kamarupa, and other is called relationship. There you can write Sambandha Rupa. Sambandha Rupa.
প্রভু বাংলা বইতে তাই দেওয়া আছে।
সরি, বাংলা বইতে লেখা আছে তো?
হ্যাঁ, বাংলা বইতে কামরূপা আর সম্বন্ধ রূপাই দেওয়া আছে।
তাহলে বাংলা বইয়ের জন্য তাহলে ঠিক আছে। তো
দাদাজি পেজ, হরে কৃষ্ণ মাতাজি, পেজ নাম্বারটা একবার বলুন।
পেজ নাম্বার
চ্যাপ্টার 15
বাংলা বই, ওই মাতাজি বলছি, বাংলা বইটা দেখছেন তো?
চ্যাপ্টার 15
15, চ্যাপ্টার 15। আচ্ছা আচ্ছা,
হ্যাঁ।
আগের দিন আমি একটু আগে ওকে মা।
ওকে,
ওটাই ফার্স্ট পেজ, মানে সেকেন্ড স্ট্যান্ডার্ডটা চলছে।
okay. এবার আমি একটা overview, as I am giving the overview, so this Kamarupa Ragatmika Bhakti is actually impelled by conjugal feeling. That means Madhurya, those who are connected with Madhurya Rosh. That means the feelings of gopis. That is coming under Kamarupa Ragatmika Bhakti. And Sambandha Rupa, under Sambandha Rupa, it is all other rashas, that is parental, friendship, and servitor. That means parent, servant, and friend. That means Dasya, Shakha, and Vatsalya. These three relationships are coming under Sambandha Rupa. Is it clear?
প্রভু দাস্য সখ্য আরেকটা কি?
Dasya, Shakha, and Vatsalya.
বাৎসল্য।
Okay. So this is coming under, and all these things, this Dasya, Shakha, Vatsya, everything is coming under of the Brajos. Brajavasi's Dasya Rash, not Arjuna's. Arjuna's Dasya Rash is with that is called under, it is Panchabandhavas are not in Ragatmika Bhakti actually. Okay, they are under, they are not having that kind of that. They are having, it is called Oishwarya. Okay, that Dasya is in this Ragatmika attraction is that attraction which is completely forgetting Krishna's Oishwarya. Okay, let me explain this particular thing actually. What is the essence of Ragatmika? So in Ragatmika, the devotees are not attracted to Krishna because he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. They don't bother about that. That's why Krishna can never give a Bhagavad Gita class to Madhumangal or Shubal. Okay, he can never give any class. Okay, if he started giving class of Bhagavad Gita, Madhumangal and Shubal will make joke of him. You know better than me. I am Brahmana's son. I know better than him. What gyan you will give to me? Madhumangal always say like that. But Arjuna cannot say like that. Madhumangal cannot think, even though Madhumangal is seeing Krishna is when fighting with Kaliya, when he came out, what Madhumangal said? Madhumangal said, see, I was chanting here Kaliya, Sarvadaman mantra. That's why you are able to fight with Kaliya. Otherwise, you could not fight. What strength you have? So this is the friendship. Arjuna cannot say like that. Arjuna, when he saw Vishwarup, oh, he was faint, almost fainted. He was doing obeisance. But Jashodama, she also saw Vishwarup. But after some time, he ignored. Okay, he is my son. I have to chastise him. So this is the difference of this Ragatmika. They are this Ragatmika is completely Madhurja Ragatmika. Ragatmika means it is all the there is relationship is free from Vaishya. So this is one important thing. That but what is the meaning of this Vaishya Gyan? What is the meaning of this continuous thing that without having any tinge of Vaishya Gyan? That means it is the example can be given that suppose in the daytime the when sunlight is there, the stars are not visible. Okay, but that does not mean the star is not there in the sky. Star is there, but it is not visible due to the effulgence of the sun. So that means they are not atheistic. They are not accepting Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead. Does not mean they are atheistic. That means their intensity of love in relationship of as a servant, as a friend, as a parent, as a lover are so intensified, so sublime that covers their knowledge of supreme personality of Godhead, that Krishna is that is covered. So that's why their love is completely love without having. We are loving with with one motivation is there that Krishna is supreme personality of Godhead. This is favorable motivation, but they don't have that motivation also. Apparently they don't have, but actually they are having that motivation. They know, because if you read Krishna pastimes, they are whenever the Brajo Brajavasis, particularly Nanda Maharaj and Jashodama, they were actually worshipping Narayan. And I have heard recently from some devotee was telling that their Ishtodev is actually Nrsimha Bhagavan. That's what I heard recently. I don't know. I have not verified any other sources. From someone was described. So there was some temples in Vrindavan of Nrsimha temple is there. So that is actually their Kuladevata. So like that. So they don't accept Krishna as the God, even though Garga Muni has said that, but they forget. So this is their point. So this Ragatmika Bhakti is only for Vrindavan's Krishna. There are some kind of Ragatmika will be visible among the Mahishis, that is the queens of Dwarka, but that is not pure Ragatmika. Okay. Like last time we were discussing about the example we were discussing. Yes, the Atmanivedan. The Atmanivedan of Rukmini Devi is Preyoshi Bhava Atmanivedan. So they are like not fully in spontaneous. They are also having that clear knowledge that Krishna is supreme personality of Godhead. That's why they were worshipping Krishna as Dwarkadhish. Okay, they were having that worship mood. Some awe and reverence is there. Okay, but in Vrindavan there is nowhere. No one is worshipping Krishna. No one is worshipping. Krishna is being chastised. Krishna is being bound. Krishna is being humiliated. When Krishna and the cowherd boys were having fight, Krishna sometimes defeat. Cowherd boys defeat Krishna. Okay, that is out of love. Krishna is completely conquered by the love of Brajavasis. He has become like in Atmanivedan, we become possession of Krishna. But in Vrindavan, Krishna becomes the possession of Brajavasis. So that is the Ragatmika Bhakti. But that cannot be imitated by anyone. Okay.
প্রভু
So now,
রাগানুকা আর রাগানুকা ভক্তির মধ্যে ডিফারেন্স কি আছে?
sorry,
রাগানুকা আর রাগানুকা।
Asya, Ragatmika Asya. So now first I will give the explanation of Ragatmika, then I will come to Raganuga. So now this Ragatmika Bhakti is further, this Kamarupa Ragatmika Bhakti is further divided by Sammogicchamohi and Bhavechatmika. Let me write this thing. So this is just write. I will share you this point. Just write just whatever you can write. That one is completely out of. Prabhupada will explain in next chapter. I will just, as I am giving the overview of Ragatmika, that's why I am giving. Then I will come to Raganuga in this line only. That means there are some gopis, they will directly engage in loving exchange with Krishna, which is called Keli Parayana. A Keli word is used. Okay, so that is called Shambhogicchamohi. And Brajavasis are fixed only in Ragatmika. Shambhogicchamohi. So this Shambhogicchamohi means they are completely engaged with Krishna, with loving exchange. And Tat Bhavechatmika means the devotees, those who are not directly engaging with Krishna, the loving exchange, but they will help other gopis to engage with Krishna, and they will take the pleasure from hearing about that pastimes. That is called Tat Bhavechatmika. Just like the Manjuris. Manjuris are not directly engaging with Krishna in loving exchange. Okay, the gopis, the Lolita, Vishakha, these gopis, they are engaging with Krishna, Radharani, they are engaging, and Manjuris are helping them. Just bring some water, bring some fruits, make the bed proper, make the jhola proper. So they are in decoration, they are serving them. So like that. So this is called Tat Bhavechatmika. Okay. So this is the overview of Ragatmika Bhakti. Now I am coming to Raganuga. Raganuga means, first try to understand, then we will read Prabhupada books, you can read also of your own. Raganuga means a devotee. Raganuga Bhakti is a part of Sadhana Bhakti. Okay? But it is a parallel, another line, another track. Okay. How it is? Just like there is a main line, Howrah to Bardhaman main line is there, and there is a chord line is there. Okay. So main line is, both are, we will reach to Bardhaman. Okay. But chord line will reach little faster. That is the difference. And that is a different line completely. All the stations are different. So now, this chord line can be classified as Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti and Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, and the main line is like a Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. So Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti is what? What is the basis of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti? Can anyone remember or understood? What is the basis of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti? You are unmuted, Mataji, Amrita Mataji. What is the basis?
শাস্ত্র
Yes.
বিধিনিষেধ মেনে চলো এবং গুরু যা বলবেন গুরুর আদেশ, কোন রকম প্রশ্ন না করে গুরুর আদেশ মেনে চলো।
প্রশ্ন করা যাবে
না, মানে গুরু যেটা বলবে মানে সেটাকে কোনো এগেইনস্ট, মানে
গুরুর আদেশ,
হ্যাঁ মানে এগেইনস্টে না গিয়ে,
নট উইথ এ চ্যালেঞ্জিং মুড। তদ্বিদ্ধি পরিপাদেন পরিপ্রষ্টেন সেবায় উপতাক্ষন্তে জ্ঞান জ্ঞানদত্তদেশ। So the point is, the sadhana bhakti, Vaidhi sadhana bhakti is based on, basically on faith, on the scripture and the regulative principles as given by Guru. Clear? Raganuga sadhan bhakti is based on lova, greed. What kind of greed? Greed for following a ragatmika bhakti. Following a ragatmika bhakti. Suppose a sadhaka, after hearing Krishna's lila, Vrindavan lila, he becomes somehow, based on his previous life's shukriti, previous life's practice, he becomes spontaneously. Just I'm getting one important call. Please hold on. Hare Krishna. Sorry. So, the raga nuga means, just try to understand the concept. After hearing about Krishna Lila, Brajalila, particularly Brajalila, spontaneous attraction for that Lila develops. Okay. And he get started following, or following, not imitating, following, uh, following that particular devotee's footstep. Okay. So that is actually called Raganuga. Raganuga means a devotee is following a Ragatmika Bhakti. That is called Raganuga Bhakti. Now, as I have given the overview of Ragatmika Bhakti, same kind of overview will be there for Raganuga Bhakti, that a Kama Rupa Raganuga Bhakti, Sambandha Rupa Raganuga Bhakti. And then here also the Kama Rupa will be divided into Sambhogichha Raganuga Bhakti and Tad Bhave Chatmika Raganuga Bhakti. Same kind of division will be there. Is that clear? So, as I have given the overview of Ragatmika, similar thing, only instead of Ragatmika, Raganuga will be there. The 16th chapter will be described about mainly Raganuga Bhakti. 15th chapter, the Ragatmika Bhakti is described. Actually, before understanding Raganuga Bhakti, we need to understand Ragatmika Bhakti. Because Raganuga Bhakta are nothing but they are following them in one. Briefly, if you want to understand that Raganuga Bhakta means those who are following Ragatmika Bhakti. Is that clear? A little bit confusing, but Prabhupada has given a very simplified description, but so many things are there, little difficult to understand because there are very thin line difference, and we don't have direct experience of this. So because we are sadhakas. So briefly, we will try to understand. If something is not fitting, no need to worry about that. It is not very. It will be revealed after our some maturity. Okay, so. And another most important thing is that it is not that, yes, for Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti will lead us up to Vaikuntha. We will get Krishna Prem, but Krishna Prem of Aishwarya Krishna. But we need not to worry about that at this stage. because our first effort should be to get free from all kinds of anarthas that is there in our heart. So that is the most important thing that we need to do. Other things will gradually will be revealed to us, and for that we may not worry about that. So our main basis, even here Prabhupada will explain that even Raganuga Bhaktas, those who are Raganuga Bhaktas, those who are following that Raganuga Sadhan Bhakti, those who are genuinely following Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, they will also follow scripture, but their scripture, they are in their practice, scriptural dependency is not so much like Sadhana Bhaktis, like Vaidhi Sadhana Bhaktis. They are more dependent on their greed, on their lova. Okay. So that is called, that is the difference. But they also read scripture to understand the practice, what they need to practice to follow a Ragatmika Bhakta. They also need to hear, but they are hearing and our hearing may be little different. Okay. And another thing, it is not that someone will be promoted. It is not that someone need to be promoted from Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti to Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. No, it is not a ladder that after Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, the Raganuga Bhakti will come. It is not like that. It is a parallel track. I am telling you that track. That's why I have given the example of main line and chord line. Both will reach Vardhaman. Vardhaman means Krishna Prem. Our main goal is Krishna Prem. But there will be a little difference of mellows in Krishna Prem. See, basically, we don't know that whether we have fall down from Vaikuntha Loka or Goloka Vrindavan. Whether we were originally situated in Vaikuntha Loka or Vrindavan, Goloka Vrindavan, we don't know. We have fall down from spiritual world, that we understood. And we don't know actually in which Rasha we are connected. Whether we are connected with Aishwarya Rasha or we are connected with Madhurya Rasha or Udarja Rasha. There are three kinds of Rashas are there. Okay. Vrindavan is Madhurya Rasha. Okay. Dwarka and Mathura is Aishwarya Rasha. Basically Dwarka. And Navadvip is Udarja Rasha. Udarja. And our Kolkata ISKCON Mintu Park temple is three of them in one temple. Okay, it is Madhurya, Aishwarya, and Udarja. Everything is there. Mahaprabhu is there, Radha Govinda is there, Jagannath Balram Subhadra is there. Okay. So we don't know from where we have come, what was our background. So this is a general description, general understanding we are reading Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, where various, here this is Bhakti Bheda. What different kinds of bhaktis are explained here. So don't relate ourselves with this thing, with the process of our thing is, one thing is very clear at our stage. We are basically, Prabhupada will give understanding this thing, that Prabhupada will make it clear that we need to follow the rules and regulations. Why it is happening? I'm giving a brief description of it. That's why I'm not going through all the paragraphs. So it will take time, and you can read. Main thing, the concept I'm giving understanding. See, the main point is that this Raganuga Bhakta, Raganuga Bhakta will start out of lova. Okay, that is the main basis of Raganuga Bhakti. That they feels intense greed to be in that kind of to serve Krishna in that way, particularly in that way. A very specific way, very specific. Now we are serving. See, I was reading the 10th canto, particularly the Rasa Dance chapter. I was just reading from. There also initially before the Rasa Leela start, the gopis were praying to Krishna that please allow us to be your maid servant. The servant servitude service is there always. The service is in Madhurya Ras, in Vatsalya Ras, in conjugal Ras, in friendship, in Dasya Ras. Everywhere it is there. Even in Shanta Ras, that is also the flute is serving Krishna. By seeing flute is always at the near of it is in the closest proximity of Krishna's lips. The gopis were envious, transcendentally envious towards the flute. So flute is in Shantaros, but that flute is also serving Krishna. So the point is, service is always there. So now our situation is to serve Krishna instead of when I don't this kind of chapters should not make ourselves bewildered and think what I am, whether I'm Raganuga or I'm Vedic Sadhanamukti, whether I will go Vaikuntha or I will go Vrindavan. No, this is not the objective of our stage. Our stage, our direction is as to become a sold out servant of our Guru. That's it. If we can become that thing, everything will be revealed from there by the blessing of Guru. We need not to worry about it. Okay. See, the point is, it is there actually. Raganuga aspect is there in our. Have I given that example? What is the Raganuga Bhakti we are following? Anyone can remember? What kind of,
আরেকবার বলো।
are we following any Raganuga Bhakti on the?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Which one?
We are doing sadhana bhakti. So in that way,
But in that, we are doing sadhana bhakti, but in that sadhana bhakti, a sort of
it's a
Raganuga
part
bhakti,
of Raganuga bhakti.
is also there.
Hmm.
Do you know what is that?
No.
Everyone knows, everybody knows. But as we are not at that stage, we cannot understand that. So that is the point. Everybody knows it. If I say, yes, that's it, everybody knows. But we don't know. See, and that we are doing twice. But we have been given for to do
সিঙ্গার,
twice. Huh?
আরতি সিঙ্গার না, ওগুলো তো
Tulasi Arati.
তুলসী আরতি।
Who is Tulasi? Tulasi Maharani Brinda Devi.
কৃষ্ণা দেবী,
Yes, come from
কৃষ্ণা
Golok
প্রেয়সী। হুম,
He is Krishna Preyashi.
হুম,
And what we are singing to him? Shokhir
তুলসী
Anugata
কৃষ্ণ।
Karo hai.
আচ্ছা,
সেবা অধিকার দিয়া করো সখীর অনুগত তো সখীর অনুগত্য this praying for Shakhi's anugattas is a part of Raganuga Bhakti, but we have been given this thing as a part of Sadhana Bhakti because the worshipping Tulsi is mentioned in the 64 items. But if we, so this is the point, sadhana bhakti is given, but now a devotee who has previously has some background, by singing this, that devotee can spontaneously develop an attraction for serving Tulsi Devi is in Raganuga Bhakti, in Raganuga Bhakti stage. Are you getting the point? And for householders, this deity worship can lead us to Raganuga Bhakti. Those who are very much attached to deity worship. Okay. So there are scopes. Anyone can take it up, but we should not take it up artificially. Okay. So the point is that because exclusively, see even in our temple, the worship of Radha Krishna is not in Ragatmika form. It is in Oishwara, in Vaikuntha form. Here the Radha Govinda is there, but they are worshipped as Lakshmi Narayana. They are worshipped according to Pancharatrik Pancharatrik Vidhi. And this Pancharatrik Vidhi has been manifested by to Krishna, to Narad Muni, by Lord Narayan at Badrinarayan, at Badrinath. At Badrinath, that is the pastime. I will not explain, it will take time. Narayan was entered into a pot. In that pot, he entered into a spiritual world. There Narayan was there, and there he got the instruction of Pancharatri Vidhi. It has happened in one place in Badrinath. So, worship given by our acharyas for Radha Govinda also in Pancharatri Vidhi. Not in only in one thing also is there. Throughout the all the festivals, there is one festival which is a sort of Raganuga Bhakti. Another one festival is there which is a Raganuga Bhakti. Big festival. There is only one festival. There is one, or you can say two also. One and two. Two festivals are there. Okay, I will not take much time. Time is more. One is Jhulan Jatra. But this Jhulan Jatra is not there in Vaikuntha. This putting Radha Krishna on a jhola and a swing pastime. The swing pastime is not there in Vaikuntha. It is only there in Golok Vrindavan. So Prabhupada has given that festival. Another is this Ratha Jatra. Ratha Jatra is also a very exalted festival, but we are not celebrating in that mode. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is bringing Dwarkadhish to Vrindavan. So we are following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And I remember one lecture given by His Holiness Bhakti Charu Sai Maharaj in Ratha Jatra Pandal. He was explaining, you can hear that on Raganuga Bhakti, he was telling that as we are following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's footstep, we are also in one way Raganuga Bhakti, in one way, in that way, because we are following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But we are not putting more emphasis on our lobha. We are putting emphasis on our vidhis. We are not taking the vidhis cheaply. So that's why it cannot be exactly called as a Raganuga. It should be termed as a Vaidhi Sadhana. And one good news is that Jiva Goswami has written in Shandarbha that there can be a mixture of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti and Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. In Vaidhi Sadhana Bhaktas can also develop that kind of spontaneous attachment which can be also considered as a Raganuga Bhakti. So there can be a mixture who can practicing all the rules and regulations but can also intensely attach to in a particular way, and that happens in a very after Anarthana Vritti at Ashokti, after Ashokti, at the Ashokti stage, there is a Sharupa Siddhi is there. In Sharupa Siddhi stage, then it is revealed. And this Raganuga Bhakti, there is a process called at the Siddha stage. Siddha stage means in that stage, a sadhaka understand his spiritual identity. This identity can be a sadhaka can experience. So this experience spontaneously out of his practice of previous life, or it can be reminded by his guru. Both the things are possible. So, like I was hearing from Bhanusai Maharaj, one lecture, that Bipin Bihari Goswami, the guru of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, has revealed Bhaktivinoda Thakur's identity. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also understand he was a Manjari, he was a Gopi, so that identity has been given to him. But Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, actually Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Jaiva Dharma and Harinam Chintamani, in this kind of books, he has given more emphasis on Raganuga Bhakti. And during that time, what happens? Actually, it is there in our in our sampradaya, because most of the acharyas, they are actually ragatmika bhakta. Here they are following, like, mane, imparting a role of a devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like, in one sense, like, we are called Rupanuga Sampradaya. I was thinking that Rupanuga. Who is Rupa Goswami? Rupa Goswami is also a ragatmika bhakta. So in that sense, we are not termed as a Raganuga Bhakta, but we are Rupanuga, means in one sense, if we follow. But can we follow exactly how Rupa Goswamis are following? Rupa Goswamis are sleeping for 2 hours. Can we practice bhakti by sleeping for 2 hours? So that is the point. We are following principles, not exactly like that. But those who are Raganuga Bhaktas, they can follow like that way. They can chant more rounds. Their chanting will be more ecstatic chanting. So same thing, processor, they are hearing. Like Rupa Goswami, I was hearing, when Rupa Goswami were hearing about, like, when Raghunath Das Goswami was describing Chaitanya Lila on the bank of Radhakunda in the assembly of exalted Vaishnavas, the Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was actually there when at that time only he was taking note and has later compiled the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So that time Raghunath Chaitanya Rupa Goswami was hearing, and when he was hearing, his body was completely heated up. By hearing, he was feeling Ashtashatik Vikar about the Leelas of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is the hearing process is there, chanting process, hearing and chanting is there, but they are hearing and they are chanting and they are worshipping, and more important is Smaranam. The Raganuga Bhaktas, they will do Ashtakaliya Leela Smaranam. They will be completely absorbed out of lobha, out of their spontaneous attachment. They will always think either they will live in Vrindavan or they will, in the mind, they will be in the Vrindavan. Okay, so that is called the Raganuga Bhakti. So I have covered almost all the aspects of this thing, but now the point is the appropriate attitude should be that we should not imitate. What happens actually after Rupa Goswami has wrote Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, on that latter stage, Srila Vishwanath Chakraborty Thakur has given a commentary which is called Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu. In that book, he has not explained much about Raganuga Bhakti. Later, he had to write a Raganuga Ragatmika Chandrika, a very small booklet, 2-chapter booklet is there, where he detailed explanation is given on the Ragatmika Bhakti, on Raganuga Bhakti. Why he has given? Because at that time, what was happening, many so-called Prakito Sahajiya devotees were imitating this Raganuga Bhakti and was creating a disturbance in the Vaishnava society. What type of disturbance they were making? They were telling that a Vaishnava, a Raganuga Sadhan Bhakti, as Rupa Goswami has written. So this is in between Rupa Goswami and Vishwanath Chakraborty Thakur. There is a gap of many years. Okay. So in that situation, what happens? Many so-called devotees, pseudo devotees, they are actually called pseudo. Prabhupada has written here. Pseudo devotees, they started imitating the principles without having the qualification. They were not having that spontaneous lobha, but they understood they were taking it cheaply. And what they were telling that yes, Rupa Goswami has told in Raganuga Sadhan Bhakti, there is no need of following rules and regulation. It is based on lobha. There is no requirement of scriptural injunction, no rules and regulations. So they started making a propaganda that Vaidhi Raganuga sadhak bhaktas did not to follow any rules and regulations. And at that time, there was a king in near about Vrindavan. He has written a letter, and there he has written that a Vaishnava did not to follow a Vaishnava is not will never commit any sinful activity. And that later he started taking signature of all the great Vaishnavas. And in that letter, even that letter came to Vishwanath Chakraborty Thakur, and Vishwanath Chakraborty Thakur has to also give the signature. And based on that letter, there was a real disturbance started imitating these Raganuga bhaktis. So that's why, but they forgotten that Rupa Goswami has written also Shruti Sriti Puranadi Pancharatrik Vidhir Vina Oikeantika Harir Bhakti Utpadaya Kalpati. Okay, so that means in this Raganuga Bhakti, the scriptural injunction is not prominent, but that does not mean that it is completely rejected. It means that they are so exalted that they will by default, they will be completely lost their taste for cheap sense gratification. So they will by default follow all the rules and regulations. They will not have any inclination towards any abominable activities, but that they ignored completely. And there was a real havoc, and that's why that's why Srila Vishwanath Chakraborty Thakur has to write another book, small book, on which is called Ragatmika Chandrika. And there he actually defined further explanation of everything. Okay, so this is just a background, and why this background is there? Because this background is important, because due to this imitation following, there were many Sahajiya sects, Apasampradayas were there, Nera, Neri, Baul, there are various. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has categorized 12 kinds of these Apasampradayas. That's why Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has completely stopped this following this particular Raganuga part. Actually, what was happening previously, initiation, Siddha Pranali was there. The name of Siddha Pranali, during the initiation, the Guru will reveal the identity in the spiritual world. And based on that, Siddha Pranali initiation, these Sahajiya sects were taking this. This was a bona fide Pranali was there. But due to the lack of exalted Vaishnavas, this Siddha Pranali process was misused, exploited, and has created havoc. So that's why Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, they were wearing Babaji's dress, but were doing nonsensical things. Particularly this Ragatmika, that Kamarupa Raganuga Sadhan Bhaktis, in Kamarupa sect particularly. There were like Pushti marks, they were following the Vatsalya Raganuga Bhakti. In Pushti mark, there is another, that among the four Sampradayas, there is one Sampradaya which is called Balabhacharya Sampradaya. They are following Vatsalya Raganuga Sampradaya, Vatsalya Raganuga followers. They are more in their Sampradaya. The worship of Laddu Gopal is mainly prominent there. In our Sampradaya, actually, there is no one in our Acharyas, in Prabhupada, no one has ever followed and ever given any Laddu Gopal worship. But somehow or other, due to the proximity of various Vaishnavas, many of our home are having Laddu Gopal. But this Laddu Gopal worship is not there in any ISKCON temple. You will never find a single Laddu Gopal. Because that is in different Sampradaya. And we don't follow that kind of Sampradaya. So they are given initiation in that particular line. So they think as they are in parental mellows with Krishna. Okay. So, but in our sampradaya, it is Kamarupa part is more prominent. But this is very, very, very risky. Very risky. So Prabhupada will explain here that this kind of things are hidden actually. It is there, but it is very hidden. That's why in Vrindavan, where I exactly don't know the location, uh, there is a place called Grantha Samadhi. So this Shara Goswamis has written many books which they have buried. It is not revealed also. It is so exalted. But the Kali Yuga people are not qualified to read this. So they have written many books which they have not published. Whatever the publishing is there, with that also we cannot actually digest properly. See, this is a matter of spontaneous feelings. It is not an imitation that by reading some esoteric pastime I will develop that thing. These esoteric pastimes we can relish at that stage when we don't have a tinge of kamana, and that is very rare. That is very rare. So we will take questions. Let me complete. Just will write down the question. So the point is there are many things. I will not go in detail. The main important point is we should not imitate or we should not start thinking about ourselves. This thing, one thing, and then there can be. I will read out some points which are risks of this Siddha Pranali. One is, okay. So the types of Raganuga Bhakti I have already explained. One is Madhurya Bhav, that is the Kamarupa Bhav, that is Sammogecha Mohi Bhakti is characterized by the enjoying conjugally with Krishna, that is Keli Parayana. See, we sing this thing. See, the in Guru Ashtakam we sing. Okay. Ratikeli Siddhoi. Okay. But we don't imitate that. We cannot imitate that. It is there. In our Sampradaya, it is there. Today I was hearing another lecture. Like, Rupa Goswami has told to give 50% of our earning, isn't it? So one devotee was telling that is actually Varnashram principle. Okay. But actually, a pure devotee should follow Boli Maharaj, Atmanivedan, to give everything. Who can give everything? Are we in a position to give everything to Krishna? So we are not in a Atmanivedan stage. That is the part of Sharanagati. That is the part of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. So he was telling that we are not even we are not karmarpanam. We are not able to do proper karmarpanam. We are not able to follow proper varnashramic dharma also. That is not even pure devotion service, only devotion service. Forget about pure devotion service. Karmarpanam. We are not karmadhikaris. He was telling. Karmadhikaris will be able to give at least 50%. But we are not dependent. We are not in Sharanapatti stage. Sharanapatti stage means where a devotee is completely faithful on Krishna's protection. We are depending on our bank balance. We are depending on our karma. If I don't go office, if I don't do business, if I don't earn, what will happen in my future? At least I am thinking like that. I am at that stage still now, struggling, frankly speaking, not exaggerating. It is not that it cannot, and I cannot bring it artificially that I am not dependent on it. I am not dependent on my bank balance. I cannot bring that. And tomorrow I cannot stop going office also. It is not possible. And it is not advisable also. What we can do, yes, there is stage that yes, I am completely dependent on Krishna. That is also there. a Nishkam Karma Yogi is there. He is attached to karma, not on the result. We are at least like that stage, Nishkam Karma Yogi stage. We are not depending. We are not depending on the result of our karma. We are depending on Krishna, but we are setting an example. Yes, I am setting an example. I am doing this thing, that thing, but I know at the end of the day, if Krishna keeps me fit and fine, then only I will be survived. In the mind, I can do, but in the action stage, I cannot stop because otherwise, people will say, "Oh, after joining ISKCON, everyone stops going everything." So they cannot. We cannot follow the Srivas Thakur also. It is very difficult. Srivas Thakur is a devotee. He is just a devotee. He is not a Ragatmika devotee. Narad Muni is a Narad Muni. Narad Muni is not a Ragatmika devotee. He is a Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti devotee. Vaishwarya devotees. He has practiced Bhakta in the last lifetime. He has experienced Bhagavatam under Bhakti Vedantas during the Chaturmasya time, and then he becomes the devotee. Yeah. Udbhav, even Udbhav is not Ragatmika Bhakti. Udbhav is telling that I want to follow. He is trying to become a Raganuga Bhakta. He is telling that I want to follow. There is a Udbhav Keri in Vrindavan, in the Parikrama mark which comes. The Udbhav is praying eternally at the lotus feet of the gopis. He does not want to become even Kamarupa Ragatmika Bhakta. He just want to be the servant. He is also not in Raganuga Bhakta. So it's a very exalted and spontaneous path, okay, to understand it. And there are many things. Prabhupada has explained many aspects of it in a brief way. Okay, I have almost covered. So, the Siddha Pranali, regarding Siddha Pranali, there might be some question will be there. I think there is a question will be there. So, regarding the Siddha Pranali, there are many controversies. And unfortunately, very, very unfortunately, there are many devotees. They left ISKCON to practice Siddha Pranali under some other Babajis. They left Srila Prabhupada. Among them, Prabhupada's disciples are there, Prabhupada's grand disciples are there. So, we should need to understand the mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada. I don't know whether you have heard one Mataji. She was a very wonderful book distributor. I think she was Prabhupada's disciple. Her name is Radhakunda Mataji, I think. She was a wonderful book distributor. And she was staying in Vrindavan. And she was doing book distribution. And as she was staying in Vrindavan, she used to go to Radhakunda also. And she came to in association of some devotees who was started telling her that I can reveal your identity, this thing, that thing. And so she was planning to shift to Radhakunda to stay there. Because she was staying in nearby Krishna Balaram temple and used to do book distribution. So the day on which she finalized that she will shift to Radhakunda, just before on that night, Srila Prabhupada came into her dream, and she was describing this thing. That I think that article came in some Back to Bottle magazine or somewhere in Dandavat or somewhere it has come, some article. She was explaining that I was seeing that Prabhupada was taking me towards Radhakunda, and she was being dragged by Srila Prabhupada under the Radhakunda, extreme under the Radhakunda. And there, Prabhupada showed that Prabhupada was standing there with the book table, and Prabhupada was telling that who will distribute these books? If you stay at Radhakunda, who will distribute these books? Because see, we need to understand Prabhupada got the book distribution instruction on the bank of Radhakunda. Bhakti Sindhu Shastri Thakur did not give any Siddha Purali to Srila Prabhupada, to Abhay Dev. He said that if you get book, if you get money, you print books. And Prabhupada says, what is that stanza of Guru Ashtakam? That Ratikeli Siddhoi, that stanza. What is the starting of the stanza?
Nikunjayuno.
Nikunjo Juno Ratikeli Siddhoi. About this, Prabhupada is saying this is actually book distribution. See, I don't know whether anybody have seen who has started this book distribution. Who have started this book distribution? What was the history of book distribution? Anybody knows?
Prabhu in ISKCON?
In Gauriya Sampradaya?
Gauriya Sampradaya.
I think you have heard about that past time.
Yes, I heard, but
It's not
forward.
coming in the mind now. Yes.
Yes.
It has been started. Yes. Shaturupa Mataji. Raise hand.
এই যে ভক্তির আশ্রমিত শুনলে যে রূপ গোস্বামী কি প্রভু ভুলও হতে পারে,
No,
মানে রূপ গোস্বামী আমরা
Goswami didn't get the time to do book distribution.
আচ্ছা
Anyone?
Prabhu, like Srinivas Acharya and
Yes.
Narottam Das Thakur.
And Shamananda Pandit. Under the guidance of Jiva Goswami.
Jiva Goswami.
Yes. They were all Manjuris. They were all Manjuris. I have shown you that picture. All the Manjuris. Everyone is Manjuri. Everyone is a Ragatmika Bhakta.
Oh, please post Manjuri's photo.
The list of Manjuri I have not shown. I have shown. I have shared one picture. I think so.
No, I don't remember.
Share that picture. The our principal Acharyas, and they were all Manjuris. Let me. I will share that. So, like our Bhakti Sindhu Shastri is a Nayana Muni Manjuri. Do you know what is the meaning of Nayana Muni Manjuri? Anyone understand what is the meaning of Nayana Muni Manjuri? Nayana Muni Manjuri means when Radha and Krishna exchange the glance, that glance is Bhakti Sindhu Shastri. That is another personality. That glance. So like that. So, and Srinivas Acharya is, I think, the Muni Manjuri, and Gopal Bhatta Goswami is the Guna Manjuri. They are one another. They are Guna Manjuri. Under Guna Manjuri, the Muni Manjuri. And Muni Manjuri is only work. Srinivas Acharya, who is in Muni Manjuri, the only activity is Radharani is so absorbed in Krishna Prem that always, whenever she will take bath in Jamuna, when she will get out from the water, some of the ornaments will not be there. So this Muni Manjuri is the person is the particularly dedicated for searching the ornaments. Okay, so she will but she will not hand over the ornaments directly to Radha. She will hand over to Muni Manjuri. And Muni Manjuri will hand over to the some gopis, and that from gopis that will like that. So there also they follow the hierarchy principles. Dasanu Dasanu Das, in that sense. So the point is, so that the mood and mission we need to understand. Okay. So I know one devotee. I knew. Now we are not in touch with that. He left. I am not taking his name. He left just to follow this Siddha Kumari. So this Siddha Pranali is a very uh, alluring thing, because you will be revealed what was. This is a real point that what I am in my spiritual world to know. When I started initially at initial days of my practice, I was also thinking this thing. But later I understand these are immaterial actually. With as the days are passing, I'm understanding, thinking that is immaterial, completely immaterial. At that time, I was not initiated. After taking initiation and after reading and understanding mood, so understanding mood and mission is very important. Without understanding mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada and our acharyas, and I know, hey, so why I was telling that I will share. At that time, there were no printing machines were available. All the books that acharyas have written, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, all the Goswami, 6 Goswamis written books were put into a trunk, and that trunk were taken by Srinivas Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur, and Samananda Pandit. On the way in the Vishnupur, Bon Vishnupur, there was a dacoit, and then there was many pastimes were there ultimately. They used to send book distribution report to Jiva Goswami. How they were distributing books? By copying it. Someone won Chaitanya Charitamrita. They started copying Chaitanya Charitamrita. After the completion of the copy, this is the book. Someone is asking Narottam Das Thakur, Prema Bhakti Chandrika, in where all the bhajans are there. So Narottam Das Thakur started copying, or some of his disciples, servants, started copying. Okay, one copy ready, distribute. So in that way, they have made a book distribution report. That is the first book distribution report. And there, I think Narottam Das Thakur or Jiva Goswami, someone was writing that
I posted the first book distribution report. আমি গ্রুপে পোস্ট করেছি ফার্স্ট বুক ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন রিপোর্টটা।
হ্যাঁ, ওই রিপোর্টটা মানে আমি একটা আগে কোথাও আমি বোধহয় ইয়েতে প্রিচিং গ্রুপে আমি আগে পাঠিয়েছিলাম কোনো একটা দিন।
আচ্ছা, আমি এটা ওই বাগবাজার গৌরী মঠ আছে ওখানে আমরা পেয়েছিলাম।
হ্যাঁ, এটা অ্যাকচুয়ালি ইয়ে তো পাওয়া যায়, এক্স্যাক্টলি এটাই বলছি। তো এইখানে লাস্ট লাইনে নরোত্তম দাস ঠাকুর লিখছেন, concludes that this letter with the following emotional comment: until we are able to develop another type of technology to print the books, due to the difficulty involved in creating books by hand, which is being neglected, most of our book distribution program will be postponed. So that's why Srila Prabhupada has been sent by Krishna, that enough type handwritten book distribution has happened. Now you go, you print and distribute. So that was the main mission. So this is the point we need to understand. Recently, I don't know whether you have heard, one of Prabhupada, another very dear disciple, Kratu Prabhu has left his body. And I was hearing the last moment of his life. He was telling all the devotees, he has been taken to he was in Delhi, nearby, staying in Delhi only. So treatment was not going well, so they has been taken to Vrindavan, and there in the last moment he was telling only this thing: book distribution. All the devotees who engage in the service of Krishna, distribute books. So this is the point we need to understand. And I will take this opportunity to request every one of you. Our Bhadra Purnima is coming on 26th of September. So today it is June, July, August, September. 4 months is there. At least per month approach one person to inspire one person to take Bhagavatam set. At least 5 Bhagavatam set you can take a goal. In our ISKCON Delhi, all the devotees have been given this target. At least try 5. Bhagavatam set. So in 1 month, you need to at least. So for that, the principle is very simple. We need not to worry about the goal. We need to approach. At least in 1 month, try to approach 100 people for Bhagavatam set. This approach is in our hand. Whether the one will take book or not, that is not in our hand. At least try to approach 100 people. Is it very difficult to approach 100 people? Approach. Just say this is a very wonderful book. Keeping this book is as good as keeping Krishna. That's it, only this thing, and this is the glory of Krishna. That's it. Simple thing. So if we can try in this way, our endeavor will be noted, not our result. So this will make us Siddha. We need not to artificially follow, imitate. During Prabhupada's time, there were a sect of Prabhupada disciples only. They were thinking themselves, what is that? Gopi Bhava Club. They have formed a Gopi Bhava Club. Okay. So what they were doing, actually that was, keeping all the respect, many senior disciples of that like that, but they were not at that time matured. So they used to read the Antalila of Chaitanya Charitamrita and develop some kind of this kind of thing. And then what they will do, they will not come during Mangalarati time. They will come to attend from Tulsi Arati. Okay, because they were thinking that they were in Gopi Bhav and this Tulsi Arati is in Gopi Bhav. So one day Prabhupada was sitting in one temple and he was about to take breakfast. And some devotee, someone has come to Prabhupada and has told that Prabhupada, in which temple I don't know, whether it's Vrindavan or in the USA or somewhere, maybe in the US or somewhere. So Prabhupada was about to take the breakfast, and then someone told him that actually there is, Prabhupada, there are some of your followers, disciples, they have formed a group called Gopi Bhava Club. So Prabhupada was about to take this food like this way. So his food does not go into it. He stopped here. He put it, the prasad, and he said that, who are those devotees? Call them immediately. He stopped honoring prasadam. Call them immediately. Everyone came and Prabhupada left and right has smashed them like anything. Because this is Bhakti Chandra Shastri Thakur was completely against of this, and Prabhupada followed him exactly like that. Because Prabhupada knows what is our situation. So we cannot do anything imitation thing. It will not sustain. It will create further disturbance. So after Prabhupada did this, many of them left Prabhupada. So this is such an philosophical illusion it can create. So my humble request, please don't ever develop any kind of exalted conception about anything. Be simple, follow Prabhupada. That will save us. We did not to worry about anything. I know there are many stories I can say. I know one devotee, nobody knows, he's not a famous devotee, but he was dedicated in book distribution. He was in, I think, foreign devotees. Foreign body, yes, foreign. So when he becomes old, he was thinking that now I should spend some time at Mayapur. I should visit Mayapur. I'm becoming old, and he was having some physical problem. So he came to Mayapur, and he was having his shalogram. Okay. Shalogram or some Vigraha was there. I exactly don't remember. Either on Vigraha or something. So after coming to Mayapur, he was under treatment. He was given some medical support and this thing, that thing, but it was not working. So the final day came. So everyone was there. He was lying down on the bed, and on his chest, his Vigraha has been kept. Either it is hologram or some Vigraha. I don't remember. So it was kept, and everyone was chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And Everyone was chanting, and all of a sudden they understood. They all of a sudden they started smelling very wonderful fragrance. They were not able to see anything, and he left the body. Okay, yes, Mother, okay. And he left the body. And when he left the body, the most interesting thing has that happened, that the Vigraha which was there, and he said, I think before leaving, he said Gauranga. He said Gauranga and he left. The Vigraha which was there on his chest, it was not there. It was not there. So with his Vigraha he went. And actually what the some senior devotees explained, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and take him to the spiritual world. He was not a famous, he was not any management, he was not nothing, he was not doing any other thing except book distribution. So there are many examples of this. So the point is, this book distribution is just one example. It is a very dear service for Srila Prabhupada. But all any other service, whatever service Prabhupada has given, if we follow Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada and the followers of Srila Prabhupada instructions, that is sufficient. We did not to go anywhere, just to follow some artificial thing. So this point is very important to understand. So what are the risks? I will briefly explain. So instead of Siddha Pranali, this Siddha Pranali they are practicing for Sharupa Siddhi. So our Acharya has said, your Sharupa will be revealed in the syllables of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. If we chant properly, that is sufficient. Okay. Another thing is the combined form of this thing I have already explained. This. Yes. The difficulty of Raganuga Bhakti. The difficulties of Raganuga Bhaktis is less emphasis on rules produces laxity in service and vows. So that means we can take. So if we start following if we start imitation following, there will be a laxity of it. Identifying conjugal pastimes materially gives rise to material desires. Okay. That already I have discussed. That abominable things are happening. Therefore, it is more useful for completely renounced person rather than the household. Okay. Even for the householder, even for the renounced order also, it is better to engage in prachar. What our sannyasis are doing in ISKCON? They are engaged in pracharan. Internally, the mood may be cultivated. That is internally. That is completely internal. That they will never reveal. Okay. So there are many unfortunate situations. I heard from my spiritual master. It was, I think, after Srila Prabhupada left this planet, some foreigner Mataji came in Vrindavan, and as a result of Brajo Bhumi Jatra or seeing the Dham Darshan, she went to Radhakunda, and in Radhakunda, she met with the Babaji, and she said, and she met with the Babaji, and that Babaji said that I will reveal you spiritual identity. Then she said, what is my spiritual identity? Then that Babaji said that you are a peacock. She was very happy. She was like innocent foreigner Mataji, young beautiful Mataji. And in the night time, they were have illicit sexual connection. The Matajis were almost raped like anything. So that is the situation of this kind of thing. So this is a very abominable situation. With this, the consequence may happen if somebody follows this Raganuga Bhakti, because this is a Siddha. Deho is revealed. They are telling in that stage, and that stage many artificially if something happens, it is very difficult. Particularly the Kamarupa Raganuga Bhakta will land up in a very much difficult. So it requires intense concentration on chanting for many hours. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that's why recommended 64 rounds while meditating on Ashtakaliya Leela. So this is the qualification if we want to follow. Who can follow? It is very difficult.
So
Difficult.
Ashtakaliya Leela, what can you just short in short?
Ashtakaliya Leela
tell?
is like the entire Ashtaprohar is there, 24 by 3.
Okay. Okay.
That is the Ashtakaliya Leela. So those who are Raganuga Bhakta, they are absorbed. Now it is evening time. Krishna is doing this. So they are meditating. They are serving in their. So those who are actually in Siddha Deho, like Srinivas Acharya pastimes, if you read, he sometimes go into that pastime and come back. Sometimes he is Samadhi in 3 days. What happens? In one place sitting, but in Samadhi state. Everybody was frightened. What is happening? After some time, when he comes back, there is a color on his clothes. What was happening in the Vrindavan? It was Holi was happening, so all the color came. So like that. But he's in Katwa, sitting in Katwa. These things are happening. So in Siddha Deho also they can go participate in the pastime and they can come. But this is very rare. It is possible. Possibility is there, but it is very rare. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in the midnight, I have read in one place. In the midnight, he wake up and started cooking. And so Bhaktivinoda Thakur asked, what happened? No, actually, I got the instruction to cook festival for Radha and Krishna. They are getting instruction from spiritual world. And they started cooking. So that is a completely different thing, actually. Because you are completely their spiritual identity is revealed. They are acting in that stage. So I think I have covered main points. So you can read, see. So they can follow these Raganuga bhaktis can be followed in one this body also and in changing the body also. The example of changing the body is like when the rishis saw Ramachandra in Dandakaranya forest, they all had the desire that I want to marry Ramachandra, but they cannot express because Ramachandra was Marjada Purushottam at that time, Ekapatni Pratham. But those rishis became gopis in Vrindavan Lila, in Krishna Lila, when Krishna came. And they were Rishichari gopis were there. And there are Srutis are there, Sruti mantras. They are also like Raganuga Bhakta, they also wanted to serve Krishna in like gopis. So they also become Sruti mantra gopis. There are various categories of gopis. When the last Lila happens, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur has given explanation. Various categories of gopis. All the gopis were not Siddha gopis. Nitya Siddha gopis were like Lolita Vishaka, this inner circle, they are Nitya Siddhas. Okay. But the other gopis were from various categories. And there are other gopis, they even cannot come to the Rasa dance. They were lamenting, they were explaining Viraha Bhav, like that. So there are various. So that is a change of body, and there may not be change of body. So both the things can happen in Raganuga Bhakti. So okay, so I will stop here. Other things you can read. There are various aspects are given, but briefly, this is sufficient, I think, to make you understand the basic concept. Prabhupada has given examples and quotations and those things you can read them. Yes. Any question or any clarification? I will stop now.
Prabhu, I have one question too. So there is one shloka from Bhagavatam where it says that like when we are hungry, if we eat, simultaneously our hunger goes
Bhakti
and
parashanabhav viraktir anubhav.
yes. So like if somebody is artificially trying to follow this Siddha Pranali, so deep inside they would be knowing, right, that they like for myself I know like what dirt is there inside. So
So
that is very
that is the point, na? They 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 those who are artificially following Shikta Pranali, they are trying to enjoy material sense enjoyment of it. That's it. Their agenda is like that. Okay, they are not. See, that is the point. I just one point I just forgot. In this Kamarupa, this word Kamarupa word has been used, but we need to understand the word. What is the meaning of Kamarupa? Another important thing I just forgot to tell. I let to complete that. Kamarupa, Kamarupa. This Kama word is used as a word just to intensify the attraction of the gopis towards Krishna. But this kama has nothing to do with the material kama. So that's why this kama, it appears that the gopis were, that is a verse that gopis, Narad Muni is told to Yudhishthira Maharaj that gopis were attracted to Krishna out of lust. There is a verse in Bhagavatam. Kamadeshat bhayat snehat jatha bhakteshare mana aveshya tatangam hitva bahavas tadgatim gata. By lust, hatred, fear, affection or devotion, thinking of Krishna in the mind with absorption and thus giving up their sin, many have attained the same end. So here the word kama is referred in context to the kama, lusty feelings of the gopis towards Krishna. But here now we need to understand what is this kama. This kama is not the kama of material world. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has written in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Atmendriyo pritivancha tare kahe kam, Krishnendriyo pritivancha dhare premu naam. So this kama is not like Atmendriyo pritivancha. Our kama is to fulfill our sensual satisfaction. But Gopi's kama is to fulfill Krishna's satisfaction. So they are completely reverse. So that's why, but this is apparently appears like a kama, as this is between gopis. Gopis are in female body and Krishna is in male body, but they are not body actually. They are not body. They are soul, spirit soul. So in that spirit soul, we need to understand that this word kama is just to use to understand that this word is to intensify their attraction. So here it is said that these gopis, kama is completely free from any tinge of their own sense gratification. This kama, kamarupa ragatmika, and even this kama rupa raganuga, this bhakti is completely free from this nature. This is one thing. With comparison to Kubja, Kubja was actually having a material lusty desire to Krishna. Okay, so this is, but this Kubja's attraction to Krishna is essentially due to kama or lust. But as this is directed to Krishna, so this is called kamo prayarati. Prabhupada explained in the chapter also. So her love cannot be compared to the love of the gopis. So there is a verse in Chaitanya Charita in Bhagavatam. Kubja felt lusty desire for Krishna and exhibited only lusty action. Taking hold of the end of his upper cloth, she smiled. So she was holding his upper cloth of Krishna. So she expressed her lusty desire. But however, she is said to have rati to a small degree because the object of her attraction was Krishna. Okay, that's why in front of Balaram, Krishna could not speak much with Kubja after she has given back her beautiful body. And Kubja was no one else but who was Kubja? Kubja was originally in her past life. Who was she?
Shurpanakha?
Shurpanakha. She wanted to enjoy Ramachandra, wanted to enjoy lusty enjoyment with Ramachandra. But that Krishna fulfilled when he came in Mathura. Okay, so just this Kubja's example is given to make understand the pure Ragatmika store, pure Ragatmika position of gopis. This is one thing, and another here the words that I have just recited, that this kama, this gopis. I explained this kama is pure kama, and this is bhakti. Hatred, out of hatred, Shishupal was this another verse is that Gopa kamat bhayat kangsho deshat chadodayo nripo Sambandho Vrishnayo Sneha Juyam Bhaktva Vayam Vibhu. The gopis by conjugal love of Kama, Kangsho by fear of death, Shishupal and other king by hatred, Brajavasis by relationship, you Pandavas by affection, we general devotees like Narada by Vaidhi Bhakti. Narad Muni is telling. Okay, so the sneho or affection of the Pandava is not Ragatmika Bhakti. The Pandava sneho or friendship, Shakha or friendship is predominant by their awareness of his power, that is the Oishwarya Bhakti, which is not an aspiration of Ragatmika Bhakti. So if the word sneha is used in reference to sadhakas, it means Vaidhi sadhana bhakti and not Ragatmika sadhana bhakti. So Shishupal's hatred and Kangsho's fear, they also got the same destination. Narad Muni said the same destination, but that same is different. Prabhupada here explained. So this Shishupal and Kangsho's bhakta, they are also completely absorbed. So based on the absorption limit, it may appear that they are in Ragatmika, but they are not Ragatmika because their absorption in unfavorable attitude motive. So they are not considered as a bhakta. Okay, so Pandavas are Sneha, and Narad Muni is a Vaidhi bhakta. They are completely like that. So Desho and Bhai, this cannot be a qualification for a bhakta. So, but they have given pleasure to Krishna by fighting. Okay, so that means Krishna is pleased, but then also it is not bhakti. The example we described when we are discussing the primary characteristic of bhakti, and here again it is coming. So this we have to understand. So the destination of everyone got the same destination. Here Narad Muni is telling Bahoda Bahobo Tat Gatim Gata. That means Krishna's destination, the same destination means same spiritual destination means these demons, they have got destination to Brahmajati. They are not allowed to enter into Vaikuntha Loka. Okay, so the sun, and Prabhupada has explained the example of sun and sunshine. So both that sun and sunshine are one and the same, but they are not same because the temperature in sunshine is not same as sun globe. So similarly, the gopis are in spiritual world. Pandavas can enter spiritual world. Okay, Narad Muni is in spiritual world, but not the Shishupal and Kangsha. Yes, Shishupal is also spiritual world in his spiritual form, that is Jai Vijay form, Shishupal and Nantava. So these Asuras are also maybe having their bhakta, but they will be purified and then they will go. So this is another point we need to understand, that absorption does not only mean, so the Ragatmika's definition was their absorption. So in absorption also, favorable absorption is required. So that's what, time is over. It's 10 o'clock. I wanted to complete by 9:30, but anyway, some discussion happened. So thank you so much. If anybody does not have any question, or if any have any question, you can ask one-to-one by message. So Sunday, we will be having class from 2 o'clock. Okay? 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Okay, so please try to attend. I think everyone, Vishwarup Prabhu is okay? Sunday class?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, na? So because আমি যেটা একটা Mataji, you can stop the recording. I just want to discuss if all the referees are okay.
হ্যাঁ প্রভু।
The next module that is